What you believe to be true becomes the foundation upon which your reality is built. The world around you is not a fixed, immutable structure. Rather, it is the mirror reflecting your inner convictions, thoughts, and assumptions. To awaken to this truth is to hold the key to limitless transformation. You are not a passive observer of life's unfolding. You are its creator, shaping the events, circumstances, and relationships that define your existence through the power of belief. Within each of us lies an extraordinary force, one that operates invisibly yet inexorably. This force is your imagination, the creative faculty that defines your identity and sculpts the fabric of your experience. When directed with conviction and purpose, imagination becomes the bridge between desire and fulfillment, between longing and realization. It is not enough to merely wish for change. You must embody the reality of your desire with unwavering faith. Believe you can, and you are halfway there. These words echo a profound truth that transcends mere optimism. To believe is not simply to hope or entertain a possibility. It is to claim with certainty the reality you seek. Belief is an act of inner transformation, where you align your thoughts and emotions with the outcome you wish to see. It is the conviction that your dreams are not distant goals but present realities awaiting recognition. Consider this: the circumstances you face today are not accidents or random events. They are the manifestations of past beliefs, consciously or unconsciously held. If you accept this premise, then you also hold the power to change your circumstances by altering the beliefs that sustain them. To believe you can is to embrace the infinite potential within you. It is to see yourself not as limited by external conditions, but as the architect of your destiny. The journey begins within. Close your eyes and dare to imagine the life you desire. Picture it vividly, feel its reality as though it were already yours. The more you dwell in this state of fulfilled desire, the more you shift the unseen forces of your life to bring it into being. This is not magic, though it may appear magical. It is the natural law of consciousness at work. You are not separate from the things you seek. Every desire you hold is a call from the deeper self, urging you to realize that what you seek already exists within you. By believing you can, you activate the law of assumption, the principle that what you assume to be true will manifest in your experience. The journey may begin with a single thought, but its power lies in your unwavering belief. Belief is the cornerstone of all creation and transformation in life. It is not merely an idle thought or a fleeting hope, but a deep and unshakable conviction that defines your reality. The essence of belief lies in its power to mold the world around you, for what you accept as true in your mind becomes the truth of your experience. This is not a passive process. It requires active participation and a willingness to embrace the unseen forces at work within you. Your beliefs act as the lens through which you perceive and interact with the world. They color every decision, shape every opportunity, and dictate every challenge. If you believe in your ability to succeed, you naturally gravitate toward actions and choices that lead to success. Conversely, if your belief is steeped in doubt or fear, you unconsciously align with limitations and obstacles. This dynamic demonstrates that belief is not simply an abstract concept, but a tangible force with real-world consequences. The transformative power of belief lies in its ability to transcend circumstances. Regardless of your current situation, the beliefs you hold have the potential to reshape your reality. This is because the outer world reflects the inner state of your consciousness. When you believe in your potential, you activate a shift in energy and focus that begins to draw opportunities, people, and circumstances into alignment with that belief. This is not happenstance, but the natural outcome of living in harmony with your inner truth. To fully harness this power, belief must be absolute and unwavering. It cannot waver in the face of appearances or succumb to doubts generated by external conditions. True belief operates from the understanding that your inner conviction is the seed of creation, and like any seed, it requires nurturing and time to grow. Doubt, on the other hand, acts as a disruptive force that undermines the process, preventing the seed from taking root. Belief is also deeply connected to identity. To believe in your ability to achieve something, you must first see yourself as the kind of person who can achieve it. This alignment between belief and identity creates a resonance that amplifies your creative power. When you fully accept this truth, you realize that belief is not an isolated act, but a continuous state of being, a foundation upon which every aspect of your life is built. The first step toward transformation is recognizing the beliefs that currently govern your life. Are they empowering or limiting? Do they align with the vision you hold for yourself? By identifying and consciously shifting these beliefs, you begin to unlock your potential and take control of your destiny. This shift is not merely intellectual but deeply emotional, requiring faith and persistence to sustain. Belief, therefore, is more than a mental affirmation. It is the essence of creation itself. To believe you can is to ignite the infinite possibilities within you and set in motion the forces that will bring your desires into reality. It is the first and most vital step in any journey of change, for without belief there can be no true progress. Imagination is the driving force behind every creation, innovation, and transformation in life. It is not merely the faculty to visualize or dream, but the creative essence that shapes the world within and around you. Imagination is the bridge between the seen and unseen, the tool through which you bring abstract desires into tangible reality. This extraordinary power is not limited by circumstances, resources, or external factors. It is bound only by the limits of your own belief in its potential. At its core, imagination is the act of mentally envisioning a reality that does not yet exist in the physical world. This vision, however, is not a passive daydream but an intentional creation. When you use your imagination with purpose and clarity, you begin to form the blueprint for the life you desire. The clearer and more vivid the image in your mind, the stronger the influence it has on your thoughts, emotions, and actions, guiding you toward its manifestation. Imagination is not just a tool for problem-solving or artistic expression. It is the essence of your creative power. Every invention, work of art, or breakthrough in human history began as a thought in someone's imagination. This principle is not reserved for the few, but is a universal gift available to everyone. The key lies in learning how to harness it consciously and consistently. Most people use their imagination unconsciously, allowing it to wander aimlessly or dwell on fears and doubts, which inadvertently creates undesirable outcomes. By directing your imagination with intention, you can shape your reality in alignment with your desires. This creative faculty operates through the language of feeling and sensory experience. When you imagine something vividly enough to feel its reality, you activate the same neural pathways in your brain as if you were actually experiencing it. This phenomenon, known as mental rehearsal, is why imagination is so powerful. It does not differentiate between the real and the vividly imagined. This means that by immersing yourself in the feeling of your desired outcome, you begin to condition your mind and body to believe it is already true. Imagination also transcends the constraints of time and space. It allows you to see possibilities beyond your current circumstances, to envision solutions to challenges, and to connect with your highest potential. It acts as a catalyst for transformation, enabling you to break free from limiting beliefs and expand your sense of what is possible. Through imagination, you can rewrite the narrative of your life, redefining your identity and the boundaries of your experience. To fully utilize the power of imagination, it must be exercised daily. This involves more than simply visualizing. It requires embodying the state of your desired reality. Feel the emotions, sense the environment, and engage all your senses as though it were already true. The more deeply you immerse yourself in this mental creation, the more naturally you will align with the actions and circumstances that bring it to fruition. Imagination is the divine gift that makes you the creator of your life. By mastering this faculty, you gain the ability to shape not only your destiny but also the world around you. It is through imagination that you discover your true power and step into the limitless potential of your being. Aligning your thoughts with your desired outcomes is a transformative process that bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. It is more than positive thinking. It is a deliberate and disciplined practice of creating mental congruence between your inner beliefs, emotions, and focus, and the reality you wish to experience. This alignment activates the natural laws of the mind and universe, ensuring that your thoughts, feelings, and actions work in harmony to manifest your goals. At the heart of this process is the understanding that your thoughts are the seeds of creation. Every thought carries energy, and the thoughts you consistently entertain shape your perceptions, influence your decisions, and ultimately determine your experiences. When your thoughts align with your desires, they act as a magnetic force, drawing the people, opportunities, and circumstances necessary to bring your vision to life. However, the alignment of thoughts with desired outcomes goes beyond surface-level thinking. It requires a deeper connection to the emotions and beliefs that underpin your desires. For example, it is not enough to think, "I want success." You must also believe that success is attainable for you and feel the emotions associated with already achieving it. This combination of thought, belief, and feeling creates a powerful resonance that signals to your subconscious mind and the universe that you are ready to receive what you seek. One of the most significant challenges in aligning your thoughts with your desires is overcoming internal resistance. Doubts, fears, and limiting beliefs can create mental dissonance, which disrupts the flow of energy needed for manifestation. To address this, you must become aware of your habitual thought patterns and replace those that conflict with your goals. This requires mindfulness and persistence, as well as a willingness to confront and release negative assumptions about yourself and your abilities. Visualization is a powerful tool in this process. By vividly imagining your desired outcome, as if it has already occurred, you engage your mind in a way that bridges the gap between imagination and reality. The key is to focus not only on the image of success, but also on the accompanying feelings: joy, gratitude, confidence, or excitement. These emotions are vital because they amplify the vibrational frequency of your thoughts, making them more potent and aligned with your goals. Additionally, affirmations can reinforce this alignment. Repeatedly affirming statements that reflect your desired reality helps to reprogram your subconscious mind, replacing doubt with certainty. For instance, affirming "I am capable and worthy of success" shifts your internal dialogue and strengthens your belief in your ability to achieve your goals. It is also crucial to act in alignment with your desired outcomes. While thoughts and feelings lay the groundwork, actions solidify your commitment and propel you toward your goals. Each step you take, no matter how small, creates momentum and strengthens the connection between your mental vision and your physical reality. In aligning your thoughts with your desired outcomes, you step into your role as the conscious creator of your life. You move from being a passive observer of circumstances to an active participant in shaping them. This alignment is not only the key to achieving your goals, but also the path to living a life of purpose, fulfillment, and joy. By mastering this practice, you unlock the ability to transform your dreams into your reality. Manifestation through inner transformation is the process of creating external change by first shifting your internal state of being. It operates on the principle that the outer world is a reflection of your inner world. Your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and assumptions form the foundation of the reality you experience. To change what is visible in your life, you must begin with the invisible forces within you. At the core of inner transformation is the understanding that you are not merely a product of your environment, you are the creator of it. The circumstances and conditions you encounter are shaped by your dominant mental patterns and emotional states. This realization places immense power in your hands, as it reveals that by transforming your inner world, you can directly influence the outer world. Inner transformation begins with awareness. You must first become conscious of the habitual thoughts and beliefs that govern your life. Often these operate below the surface of your awareness, shaping your decisions and experiences without your conscious input. By bringing them to light, you can evaluate whether they serve your highest good or perpetuate limitations. For example, a belief such as "I am not good enough" may manifest as repeated experiences of rejection or failure. Recognizing this belief is the first step toward changing it. Once you identify limiting patterns, the next step is to replace them with empowering ones. This requires deliberate effort to shift your focus and reframe your perspective. Instead of dwelling on what you lack or fear, focus on what you desire and believe it is possible for you. Inner transformation involves consistently choosing thoughts and emotions that align with your goals, even in the face of contrary evidence. A crucial component of this process is emotional mastery. Your emotions are the energy behind your thoughts. They amplify the frequency of your desires and attract corresponding experiences. To manifest your desires, you must cultivate feelings of joy, gratitude, confidence, and abundance as though your goals have already been achieved. These emotions align your vibrational state with the reality you wish to create, making it more likely to manifest in your life. Another essential aspect of inner transformation is detachment from external validation. Often people look to their circumstances for proof that their desires are attainable. However, this creates a cycle where external conditions reinforce old beliefs, preventing change. To break free, you must rely on your inner vision and trust the process, even when outward results are not immediately apparent. Faith and persistence are vital in this phase. Inner transformation also requires forgiveness and letting go. Holding on to resentment, guilt, or regret anchors you to past experiences and limits your ability to create something new. By releasing these emotions and forgiving yourself and others, you free up the mental and emotional energy needed to focus on your desired outcomes. Lastly, inner transformation is a continuous journey, not a one-time event. It involves daily practices such as meditation, visualization, affirmations, and mindfulness to reinforce your new mindset and emotional state. Each moment of intentional inner work brings you closer to aligning with the reality you wish to manifest. When you commit to inner transformation, you unlock the ability to consciously shape your life. Manifestation becomes a natural byproduct of your inner alignment, allowing you to create a reality that reflects your highest potential and deepest desires. This process empowers you to move beyond limitations and step into a life of abundance, joy, and fulfillment. Beliefs are the invisible architects of your reality, forming the foundation upon which your experiences, relationships, and circumstances are built. These deeply ingrained mental and emotional patterns operate both consciously and unconsciously, shaping how you perceive the world and your place within it. To understand and harness the power of beliefs is to gain mastery over the creation of your life. At its essence, a belief is a thought that has been repeatedly accepted as true. Over time, it becomes embedded in your subconscious mind, influencing your behavior, emotions, and decision-making. Beliefs serve as filters for how you interpret events and interact with your environment. For instance, someone who believes they are capable and deserving of success will approach challenges with confidence and resilience, often leading to positive outcomes. Conversely, someone who holds a belief of inadequacy may shy away from opportunities, reinforcing a cycle of limitation. The profound impact of beliefs lies in their ability to shape not only perception but also reality. This is because beliefs influence your energy, actions, and focus, all of which contribute to the outcomes you experience. If you believe that life is full of opportunities, you will naturally attune yourself to recognize and seize them. If you believe that life is a struggle, you will inadvertently align with circumstances that affirm that perspective. This self-reinforcing cycle makes it clear that beliefs are not passive constructs, they are active forces that co-create your reality. One of the most transformative realizations is that beliefs are not fixed. They can be examined, challenged, and changed. This process begins with self-awareness, recognizing the beliefs that are currently shaping your life. Often these beliefs were formed in childhood or as a result of past experiences, and they may no longer serve your growth or aspirations. Identifying these limiting beliefs is the first step in reclaiming your power to shape your reality. Once you have identified a limiting belief, the next step is to replace it with an empowering one. This involves consciously choosing thoughts that align with your goals and repeating them, until they become your new mental default. For example, if you have a belief that I'm not good with money, you can replace it with I am capable of managing and growing my wealth. The more you reinforce this new belief through affirmations, visualization, and aligned actions, the more it will take root in your subconscious mind. Changing beliefs also requires emotional engagement. It is not enough to simply think a new belief, you must feel it as though it is already true. Emotions such as confidence, gratitude, and excitement help to solidify the new belief and align your energy with your desired outcome. This emotional alignment is key to breaking free from old patterns and creating lasting change. Beliefs are also interconnected with your sense of identity. What you believe about yourself, your abilities, worthiness, and potential sets the boundaries for what you can achieve. By expanding your self-concept and adopting beliefs that reflect your highest potential, you unlock new possibilities and levels of achievement. The power of beliefs lies in their adaptability. They are tools you can use to consciously shape your life, rather than constraints that hold you back. When you choose beliefs that align with your goals and values, you create a solid foundation for success, happiness, and fulfillment. This shift in perspective allows you to move from being a passive observer of your circumstances to the empowered creator of your destiny. The law of assumption is a transformative principle that asserts whatever you assume to be true, whether consciously or unconsciously, will manifest in your reality. This law operates on the understanding that your assumptions, those deeply held beliefs about yourself, others, and the world, shape your experiences and the circumstances of your life. By consciously leveraging this law, you can align your inner state with the outcomes you desire, thereby influencing the external world to conform to your assumptions. At its core, the law of assumption teaches that your imagination is the creative force behind your reality. What you repeatedly assume and feel to be true becomes the foundation of your existence. Unlike wishful thinking, which is passive and often rooted in doubt, the law of assumption requires you to embody the state of your desired outcome as though it is already accomplished. It is not about hoping or wanting, it is about knowing and feeling with certainty that your desired reality is already yours. To apply the law of assumption effectively, you must first identify what you want to manifest. Clarity is crucial because vague desires lead to vague outcomes. Once you have a clear vision, the next step is to assume the state of being that aligns with your goal. This involves adopting the mindset, emotions, and behaviors of the person who already has what you seek. For example, if your desire is to be financially abundant, you must assume the identity of someone who is already prosperous, feeling confident, secure, and grateful for their wealth. One of the most powerful aspects of the law of assumption is its reliance on feelings. Emotions act as the driving force behind your assumptions, amplifying their creative power. Simply thinking about your desired outcome is not enough. You must feel the reality of it with your entire being. When your thoughts and emotions are in harmony with your assumption, you create a vibrational match with your desired reality, drawing it into your experience. The law of assumption also emphasizes persistence. The external world may not immediately reflect your new assumptions, and it is easy to revert to old patterns of doubt or fear. However, consistent focus on your desired state, even in the face of apparent contradictions, is what ensures success. This persistence strengthens your assumption and gradually reprograms your subconscious mind to align with your new reality. A critical element of this process is detachment from the how and when of manifestation. The law of assumption does not require you to figure out every step of the process. It works through unseen forces and synchronicities to bring your assumptions to fruition. Your task is to maintain faith and trust in the principle, allowing the natural flow of events to unfold. The law of assumption also highlights the importance of self-concept. Your assumptions about yourself, your worthiness, abilities, and potential form the foundation of your overall experience. By consciously cultivating empowering assumptions about who you are, you not only transform specific aspects of your life, but also elevate your entire state of being. For instance, assuming that you are confident and capable can lead to improvements in relationships, career, and personal growth. In essence, the law of assumption is not about manipulating external conditions, but about transforming your internal state. When you align your thoughts, emotions, and assumptions with your desired reality, the outer world naturally adjusts to reflect this inner shift. This principle empowers you to move beyond limitations, take control of your destiny, and create a life that aligns with your highest aspirations. By mastering the law of assumption, you awaken to the profound realization that you are the architect of your reality, and your assumptions are the tools with which you build it. Realizing your infinite potential is a profound awakening to the limitless creative power within you. It is the recognition that you are far more capable and extraordinary than you may have ever believed, and that the boundaries you perceive in your life are largely self-imposed. By understanding and embracing your infinite potential, you can transcend limitations, achieve remarkable goals, and live a life of fulfillment and purpose. Another key to unlocking your potential is connecting with your inner vision and purpose. Infinite potential thrives when it is directed toward meaningful goals that resonate with your core values and desires. By clarifying what truly inspires and fulfills you, you create a powerful motivation to take action and overcome barriers. This sense of purpose acts as a guiding light, helping you stay focused and aligned with your true self. Your infinite potential is also amplified by the power of imagination and belief. When you dare to dream big and believe in the possibility of achieving those dreams, you activate the creative forces within you to bring them to life. Visualization, affirmations, and emotional alignment are tools that help you maintain this belief and sustain the energy needed to manifest your desires. Collaboration and connection with others can also play a significant role in realizing your potential. While your power is inherent and individual, sharing ideas, resources, and support with like-minded individuals can accelerate your growth. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift and inspire you creates a synergistic environment where everyone's potential is magnified. Lastly, realizing your infinite potential is an ongoing journey rather than a final destination. As you grow and evolve, you uncover new layers of your abilities and possibilities. This continuous expansion is fueled by curiosity, self-reflection, and a willingness to adapt and innovate. Each step you take toward realizing your potential opens new doors and reveals new horizons, reinforcing the boundless nature of your being. By embracing the truth of your infinite potential, you gain the ability to live life as a creator rather than a bystander. You transcend limitations, align with your deepest desires, and step into a reality defined by abundance, joy, and fulfillment. This realization is not only transformative for you, but also for those around you, as it inspires others to recognize and pursue their own limitless potential. Imagine for a moment that you stand on the precipice of your own destiny, with nothing but the still, small voice within as your guide. You have heard it whisper before, in the quiet moments of solitude, urging you to step into the unknown. This is not a command born of fear, nor is it a punishment for your past. It is an invitation, a sacred calling from the infinite within you, beckoning you to walk alone. To walk alone is not to be abandoned, but to be chosen, set apart for a higher purpose. It is the path of the awakened soul, one who has recognized that the outer world is but a reflection of the inner state. When God tells you to walk alone, He is reminding you that all things are made by and through the imagination, and it is in solitude that this divine power is most profoundly realized. The world around you may appear crowded with voices of doubt and fear, urging you to conform, to seek validation from without. Yet, the truth of your being is that you are the creator, the master architect of your own experience. Walking alone means shedding the illusions of dependency and embracing the infinite creative potential that resides within you. It is a call to silence the noise of the world and listen deeply to the voice of God, your imagination speaking the language of possibility and creation. Many fear solitude, equating it with isolation or loss. But to walk alone is to walk with God, for God is not external to you. He is your own wonderful human imagination, the source of all that you experience and create. This journey is not about abandoning others, but about anchoring yourself in the awareness that all you seek, all you desire, already exists within you. As you take this solitary path, you will find that it is not a journey of loneliness, but of profound communion. It is here, in the silence of your own mind, that you discover the truth of your oneness with all life. Walking alone, you realize that you are never truly alone, for the divine presence accompanies you in every step, every thought, every act of faith. To walk alone is to trust in the unseen, to have faith in the evidence of things not yet seen. It is to recognize that you are the operant power, that your assumptions shape your reality, and that your destiny is yours to command. So when God tells you to walk alone, rejoice. It is an invitation to rise into the fullness of your power, to create a life that reflects the highest vision of yourself. The journey may appear solitary, but it is in this sacred solitude that you will discover the limitless nature of your being. Trust the call, for it is not a test, but a gift, a divine reminder that you are, always and forever, the creator of your world. When God calls you to walk alone, it is an invitation to step into a sacred space of transformation. This is not a mere withdrawal from the world, but a purposeful retreat into the depths of your own being. In this solitude, you are drawn closer to the source of all creation, the divine presence within you. It is here, in the quiet moments of aloneness, that you begin to understand the true nature of your power and purpose. The world often distracts with its noise, its endless demands, and its insistence on conformity. Yet this call to walk alone is a reminder that your journey is unique, that your path is yours to create. It is an acknowledgement that the answers you seek cannot be found in the external world, but are waiting to be uncovered within. This solitude is not about separation, but about connection to the infinite intelligence and creative force that resides within every individual. In this state of aloneness, you are freed from the expectations and judgments of others, liberated to explore the fullness of your imagination and desires. This sacred invitation challenges you to trust in your own capacity to create, to realize that you are never truly alone, but are instead accompanied by the divine essence that breathes life into all things. It is a call to embrace your individuality, to stand firmly in your own vision, and to walk forward with the understanding that you are guided by an unshakable inner knowing. The inner voice of God is subtle yet profoundly transformative, often mistaken for fleeting intuition or passing thoughts. It is not a voice that shouts or demands, but one that gently beckons, whispering truths that resonate deeply within your being. This voice is not separate from you, it is the essence of your divine nature, the eternal connection to the infinite source of wisdom and creation. Listening to this voice requires quieting the external clamor and turning inward, where the stillness allows you to hear the gentle guidance it offers. This inner voice reveals itself in moments of clarity, often when the mind is at rest and unencumbered by doubt or fear. It speaks in the language of possibility, reminding you of your power to shape your reality through thought and imagination. It does not criticize or instill fear, but instead inspires and uplifts, urging you to recognize the truth of your divine potential. It asks you to trust its guidance, even when it leads you into unfamiliar territory, for it knows the path that aligns with your highest good. To recognize this voice is to acknowledge that God is not an external entity, but the creative force within you, the source of all manifestation. It is the part of you that knows your desires before you consciously articulate them, the aspect of your being that is eternally connected to the infinite intelligence of the universe. This voice reminds you that you are never alone, even in moments of solitude, for it is always present, guiding and supporting you as you navigate the journey of life. Hearing the inner voice of God requires faith, a willingness to trust in the unseen, and to believe in the power of your own imagination. It often challenges conventional thinking, urging you to move beyond limitations and embrace the boundless possibilities that await you. As you learn to listen and respond to this voice, you begin to see that it is the key to unlocking your creative potential and living a life that reflects your highest vision. It is an invitation to walk with certainty, knowing that you are divinely guided in all things. The power of imagination is the cornerstone of creation, a divine faculty gifted to every individual as the essence of their creative ability. It is through imagination that all things are conceived and brought into existence, for nothing can manifest in the physical world unless it first exists as an idea or vision within the mind. This creative power is not limited to a select few, but is inherent in all, a reflection of the divine presence within each person. Imagination is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the conscious and the subconscious. When you imagine, you are not merely entertaining idle thoughts, you are planting seeds that will take root in the fertile soil of your inner being. These seeds grow into the experiences and circumstances of your life, shaped by the quality and intensity of your focus. Every thought and image you hold in your mind contributes to the unfolding of your reality, whether you are consciously aware of it or not. This divine power operates on the principle of assumption. What you assume to be true in your imagination becomes true in your experience. If you envision yourself as successful, loved, or fulfilled, and hold that vision with conviction, the external world will rearrange itself to reflect that inner state. Conversely, if you dwell on fear, doubt, or lack, those assumptions will also manifest. The creative power of imagination does not discriminate. It faithfully produces whatever is impressed upon it, whether positive or negative. Understanding the power of imagination requires recognizing that it is not bound by the limitations of the physical world. In the realm of imagination, all things are possible. You can transcend time, space, and circumstance, envisioning outcomes that defy logic or current reality. This is the essence of faith, the ability to see the unseen and believe in the reality of that which is not yet visible. Imagination is the means by which you exercise this faith, aligning yourself with the infinite creative force of the universe. This power invites you to take responsibility for your life, to move beyond a passive acceptance of circumstances and embrace your role as the creator of your experience. It asks you to be intentional with your thoughts, to focus on what you desire rather than what you fear. Through disciplined imagination, you can transform your inner world, and as your inner world changes, so too does your outer reality. Imagination is the direct link to the divine within you, the aspect of your being that is unlimited and eternal. It is through imagination that you commune with God, for God speaks to you through the images, ideas, and visions that arise within your mind. When you embrace this power, you step into your true identity as a co-creator with the divine, shaping your reality in alignment with the highest vision of yourself. This is the power that turns dreams into reality, transforming the invisible into the visible and the impossible into the inevitable. Shedding dependency on external validation is an essential step in recognizing and embracing your divine power. The world often conditions individuals to seek approval, applause, and recognition from others, creating a cycle of reliance on external sources for self-worth and fulfillment. This dependency can become a barrier to understanding your true nature as a creator, for it places your sense of value and direction in the hands of others rather than within your own infinite being. To free yourself from this cycle is to reclaim the authority over your life. It begins with the realization that no one outside of you holds the key to your happiness, success, or identity. The opinions, judgments, and expectations of others are projections of their own experiences and beliefs. They do not define your reality unless you allow them to. When you rely on external validation, you give away your power, tethering your sense of self to something transient and ever-changing. True freedom comes from understanding that your worth is intrinsic, not dependent on the recognition or approval of others. This understanding liberates you to live authentically, guided by your own inner voice, rather than the expectations of society, family, or peers. It allows you to make choices that align with your deepest desires and values, rather than conforming to the standards imposed by others. As you step into this self-reliance, you begin to realize that the only validation you need is your own recognition of the divine essence within you that is whole, complete, and perfect as it is. Releasing the need for external validation also strengthens your connection to the infinite power of imagination and creation. When you no longer seek approval from others, you become free to envision and pursue the life you truly desire without fear of judgment or rejection. This independence empowers you to take bold steps, trusting in your own ability to manifest your dreams and overcome challenges. It is a shift from seeking permission to giving yourself permission, a profound transformation that aligns you with your role as the creator of your reality. The journey to shedding this dependency often involves confronting deeply ingrained beliefs and fears. It may require you to face the discomfort of disapproval or misunderstanding from others as you prioritize your own truth. Yet in this process, you discover a profound sense of peace and empowerment, as you no longer rely on external forces to determine your worth or direction. This inner strength becomes a foundation upon which you can build a life that reflects your true nature and aspirations. When you stop seeking validation from without, you open yourself to the infinite resources within. You begin to see that the divine presence, which is the source of all creativity and abundance, is your constant companion. This realization allows you to walk confidently and independently, knowing that everything you need is already within you. As you align with this truth, the external world naturally begins to reflect the self-assurance and authenticity that you have cultivated within. Walking alone as communion with the divine is a profound spiritual experience that transcends the superficial concept of isolation. It is not a state of abandonment or separation, but a sacred journey inward, where you connect with the infinite presence of God within yourself. This path of solitude allows you to strip away distractions and external influences, creating a space where the divine can speak to you clearly and directly. When you walk alone, you are invited into a deeper relationship with the essence of your being, the source of all creation. This solitude is a reminder that God is not an external deity to be sought, but an ever-present reality within you. It is through this communion that you begin to recognize that the divine is not separate from your own consciousness, but is, in fact, the very foundation of your existence. This realization transforms solitude into a sacred space, a sanctuary where you can explore the depths of your imagination and align with the creative force that governs the universe. In this state of communion, you come to understand that being alone does not mean being lonely. Loneliness is the absence of connection, but walking alone in divine communion is the opposite. It is an experience of profound unity. It is in the stillness of solitude that you perceive your oneness with the infinite, recognizing that you are never truly alone, because the presence of God is always with you. This divine companionship offers guidance, reassurance, and strength, empowering you to navigate the challenges of life with clarity and confidence. Walking alone also allows you to step away from the noise and expectations of the world. In this sacred quiet, you can discern the voice of the divine from the countless opinions and judgments that often cloud your mind. It is here that you can listen to your intuition, receive inspiration, and align with your highest purpose. This communion is not about retreating from life, but about engaging with it more fully as you tap into the infinite wisdom and power that resides within you. As you embrace this solitary journey, you begin to see that walking alone is a privilege and a gift. It is an opportunity to deepen your self-awareness and strengthen your faith. This process may challenge you to let go of dependencies and attachments, but it also frees you to walk in alignment with your true self. In this freedom, you find not only clarity, but also a profound sense of peace, as you trust that you are guided and supported by the divine in every step you take. Through this communion, you also discover that your creative power is magnified. As you connect with the divine within, your imagination becomes a channel for inspiration and creation, enabling you to manifest your desires with greater ease and confidence. This process reinforces the truth that you are not separate from the divine, but an expression of it, and that walking alone is a journey toward realizing the limitless potential of your being. Faith in the unseen and trusting the process is a fundamental principle of spiritual growth and manifestation. It is the practice of believing in the reality of that which is not yet visible, of knowing that the seeds planted in your imagination will one day bear fruit in the physical world. This faith is not blind but deeply rooted in the understanding of the laws that govern creation and the infinite intelligence that orchestrates all things. To have faith in the unseen is to embrace the truth that everything begins as an idea, a vision, or a feeling within. The physical world is merely a reflection of these inner states, and what you hold in your mind with conviction will eventually manifest in your experience. This process requires a willingness to trust in the timing and methods of the divine, even when the path forward is unclear or the outcome seems uncertain. It is an act of surrender, not to external circumstances, but to the deeper knowing that the universe always aligns to support your highest good. Trusting the process involves letting go of the need to control every detail or force outcomes according to your limited perspective. Instead, it calls for a partnership with the divine, where you set your intentions clearly, take inspired action, and then release attachment to how and when your desires will manifest. This trust is not passive, it is an active state of confidence and assurance, born from the understanding that the divine power within you is always at work, even when you cannot see immediate results. This faith often requires patience and resilience, as the external world may not yet reflect the internal reality you are cultivating. Doubts and fears may arise, tempting you to abandon your vision or question your ability to create. Yet, it is precisely in these moments that faith becomes most crucial. By holding steadfast to your inner vision, despite external appearances, you affirm your role as the creator of your reality and align yourself with the divine power that makes all things possible. Faith in the unseen also asks you to trust in the infinite intelligence of the universe, which often operates in ways beyond human comprehension. What may seem like delays, obstacles, or even failures are often part of a larger process, guiding you toward outcomes that are better than you could have imagined. This perspective transforms challenges into opportunities for growth and reinforces the belief that everything is unfolding in divine order. As you trust the process, you begin to notice signs and synchronicities that confirm you are on the right path. These subtle indicators serve as reminders of the divine presence working in your favor, encouraging you to continue moving forward with confidence. Over time, this practice of faith becomes second nature, fostering a deep sense of peace and assurance, regardless of external circumstances. The faith in the unseen and trusting the process is ultimately about aligning with the divine nature of creation. It is the recognition that you are a co-creator with the universe, that your imagination is the blueprint, and that your unwavering belief is the force that brings it to life. By embracing this faith, you step into your power as a deliberate creator, navigating life with clarity, purpose, and an unshakable trust in the infinite potential of the unseen. Discovering oneness and limitless potential is a transformative realization that transcends the boundaries of individual identity and unveils the infinite nature of your being. It is the understanding that you are not separate from the divine or from the world around you, but an integral part of an interconnected whole. This oneness is not merely a philosophical concept, it is a lived experience that redefines your relationship with yourself, others, and the universe. At the core of this discovery is the recognition that the divine presence, often referred to as God, Source, or infinite intelligence, is not external to you but exists within you as the essence of your being. This realization shifts your perception of yourself from a finite, limited individual to an expression of the infinite. You come to understand that the same creative power that shapes galaxies and brings life into existence is the very force that animates and sustains you. This profound truth awakens you to your limitless potential, revealing that you are capable of far more than you may have previously believed. Oneness dissolves the illusion of separation that often underlies feelings of fear, lack, and limitation. When you perceive yourself as distinct from others and from the divine, you may feel isolated, powerless, or dependent on external circumstances for fulfillment. However, as you awaken to your oneness with the infinite, you realize that there is no division between you and the source of all creation. This awareness fosters a sense of empowerment as you recognize that you are not a passive observer of life, but an active participant in its unfolding. The limitless potential emerges as a natural consequence of this oneness. If you are one with the infinite, then the limitations you perceive are not fixed or inherent, but self-imposed constructs born of conditioned beliefs. As you align with the truth of your divine nature, these limitations begin to dissolve, and you are free to explore the boundless possibilities available to you. This shift in perspective allows you to dream bigger, act with greater confidence, and embrace challenges as opportunities for growth and expansion. Discovering oneness also transforms your relationships and interactions with the world. When you see yourself as connected to all life, you approach others with greater compassion, empathy, and understanding. You begin to perceive the divine in everyone and everything, recognizing that the same creative essence that flows through you flows through all. This perspective fosters a sense of unity and harmony as you realize that what you do to others, you ultimately do to yourself. This understanding of oneness and limitless potential also deepens your connection to the creative power of your imagination. As you recognize your unity with the infinite, you tap into a wellspring of inspiration and insight that guides you in manifesting your desires. You come to see that the universe is not a separate entity, but a mirror reflecting your inner state, and that by aligning your thoughts and feelings with your highest vision, you can shape reality in accordance with your divine purpose. Ultimately, discovering oneness and limitless potential is an awakening to your true identity as a divine being capable of creating a life of meaning, joy, and abundance. It is a journey of remembering who you are, transcending the illusions of limitation, and embracing the infinite possibilities that lie within you. This realization empowers you to live authentically and intentionally as a conscious creator aligned with the infinite power of the universe. In embracing the journey to walk alone, you are not stepping into isolation, but into the sacred presence of your own divinity. It is here, in the stillness of solitude, that you discover the infinite creative power within you, a power that requires no external validation, no reliance on the opinions of others, and no fear of the unknown. By listening to the inner voice of God, trusting in the unseen, and aligning with the divine essence of your imagination, you awaken to your role as the creator of your own reality. This journey invites you to shed the illusions of limitation and separation, to see yourself as one with the infinite source of all life. In doing so, you come to realize that the path of walking alone is not a lonely one, it is a journey of profound connection, empowerment, and purpose. You are never truly alone, for the divine presence walks with you, within you, and as you, guiding your steps toward the fulfillment of your highest potential. As you step forward with faith, courage, and unwavering trust in the divine process, you transform your life from one of uncertainty to one of clarity, abundance, and joy. You become a living testament to the truth that all things are possible for those who believe. In walking alone, you find your truest self, a self that is limitless, eternal, and perfectly aligned with the infinite. This is the gift of solitude, the power of faith, and the glory of creation. So walk boldly, for the divine within you has already paved the way.
When we chase after things with desperation, we create a gap between ourselves and the very things we desire. This gap exists not because what we seek is far away, but because we believe it is. Our relentless pursuit declares to the universe that we do not possess it. And as long as we feel the lack remains. The secret lies in the stillness of knowing. When you stop trying to get it, you align yourself with the reality in which it is already yours. Imagine the feeling of having it now, not tomorrow, not someday, but in this very moment. Feel the joy, the peace, and the fulfillment as if the dream has already materialized. That state of being is the key to unlocking the floodgates of abundance. Life does not respond to need or effort, it responds to being. When you try, you affirm that you are not yet what you wish to be. But when you embody the state of having, without strain, the world shifts to reflect your inner conviction. Stop searching outwardly and start dwelling inwardly. Rest in the assurance that all you desire is already within you, waiting to be expressed in the perfect way. There is no need to manipulate the outer world. The outer world is merely a mirror, reflecting the state of your inner world. If you are restless, the world will echo your restlessness. But if you are at peace, fully immersed in the feeling of fulfillment, the world will bend to your peace, bringing to you all that matches your state of being. Release the struggle, for struggle only keeps you entangled. Let go of the effort to make it happen. Instead, rest in the vision of it already done. The power that created the stars and moves the oceans resides in you, and it knows no effort. Trust in that power, align with it, and watch as your desires flow to you naturally, as easily as the sun rises and sets. What you seek is not separate from you. It is not out there waiting for you to find it. It is within, waiting for you to claim it. Stop trying to grasp what is already yours. Let go, and you will find that in the stillness of your being, you already have it all. When you let go of trying, when you stop the ceaseless effort to control, you begin to tap into a profound truth. All that you seek is already present within you. It is not about becoming worthy or proving yourself to a distant force. It is about recognizing the reality of your oneness with what you desire. To try is to push, and to push is to admit that there is distance. But in the quiet acceptance of what is already yours, there is no distance, no gap to bridge, and no struggle to endure. The moment you stop striving is the moment you allow the natural order of things to flow. Like a river that effortlessly follows its course, your life unfolds perfectly when you cease the need to dam it with effort. The flow of life is not something you need to create or control, it is something you align with. Effort interrupts that flow. Effort says, I must make this happen, while faith says, it is already done. Faith is not blind hope, it is the deep knowing that all is already in place, that the seed you planted within yourself is growing, even if you cannot yet see its bloom. Everything in this world begins with a thought, a feeling, an imagination. What you focus on within is what takes shape without. This is not a matter of wishing or longing, for longing suggests separation. It is a matter of feeling, of truly living in the state of fulfillment within your imagination. When you feel the joy, the satisfaction, and the gratitude of already having what you desire, the world cannot help but reflect it back to you. It must, for it is the law of life. Do not confuse letting go with giving up. To give up is to surrender to doubt, but to let go is to surrender to trust. Trust that the unseen forces of creation are working for you. Trust that the life you desire is unfolding, even if you cannot yet see the evidence. The farmer does not dig up his seeds each day to check if they are growing. He trusts the process, knowing that the unseen work beneath the soil is just as real as the harvest he will one day gather. When you let go of trying, you open yourself to receive. You cannot receive with clenched fists or a heart heavy with frustration. Relax. Rest in the knowing. Feel the ease of already having it, and let that feeling become your dwelling place. Your state of being is the magnet that draws your desires to you. It is not through force, but through alignment that the unseen becomes seen. The external world will always respond to your internal state. If you are anxious and desperate, the world will mirror that energy back to you. But if you are calm, assured, and filled with the feeling of already being whole, the world will shift to meet you there. You do not need to chase anything, for nothing is truly outside of you. Everything you could ever want is an extension of what you already are. The joy, the abundance, the love, they are not external prizes to be won, but reflections of your inner state. To stop trying does not mean to stop dreaming. Dream boldly, imagine vividly, and feel deeply. But let your dreams arise from a place of certainty, not lack. You do not dream to escape reality, you dream to create it. Your imagination is the workshop of your destiny, and what you hold there with faith and feeling must come to pass. When you stop trying, you stop scattering your energy and start directing it with purpose. Think of the moments in your life when something wonderful came to you unexpectedly, effortlessly. Perhaps it was a chance meeting, an opportunity, or a stroke of inspiration. These moments were not the result of strain or struggle, they were the result of alignment. You were in the right state of being, and the universe responded accordingly. This is not luck or coincidence, it is the natural order of creation. You cannot outrun the truth of who you are. If you believe you are lacking, no amount of effort will fill that void. But when you believe, truly believe, that you are already whole, the world will confirm that truth. It is not about pretending or forcing yourself to feel something you do not. It is about gently shifting your focus from what you lack to what you already possess within you. It is about remembering that you are not separate from your desires, you are their source. Stop trying to manipulate the details of how and when. The how is not your concern, and the when is already perfect. Your task is simply to remain in the state of being that aligns with what you desire. Live as though it is already yours. Feel the gratitude of having received it. Speak and act from a place of fulfillment, not fear. When you do this, you are no longer trying to get it, you are allowing it to unfold naturally, in ways more beautiful and unexpected than you could have planned. The greatest paradox of life is that when you let go of trying to possess something, you possess it fully. When you release the need to control, you step into the flow of divine timing and infinite possibilities. This is not passivity, it is the ultimate act of faith. It is the understanding that your role is not to force but to allow, not to chase but to align. The universe moves mountains for those who trust its power and wisdom. Even now, as you listen, the reality you desire is forming around you. Each thought, each feeling, each moment of stillness brings it closer. You do not need to strive to make it happen, you only need to be. Rest in the assurance that all is well, and let that assurance guide your every step. In the stillness of knowing, you will find that you have already arrived. The act of creation is effortless when it arises from the depth of knowing. When you allow yourself to be still and truly feel, you connect with the infinite. The infinite does not operate through force, it operates through resonance. What you embody within yourself, you call forth from the world. This is why trying, striving, and pushing are counterproductive. They create resistance. Resistance is born from the belief that what you desire is separate from you. But in truth, it is not. I think for a moment about the ocean. The waves rise and fall, not because they are fighting to reach the shore, but because it is their nature to move. Creation follows the same rhythm. It is not something to be forced or demanded, it is something to be allowed. When you rest in the awareness that you are already one with your desires, the current of life carries you effortlessly to their manifestation. The struggle dissolves, and in its place is a calm, steady assurance that all is unfolding perfectly. The reason so many feel stuck is that they attach themselves to the doing rather than the being. They believe that through sheer effort they can mold reality to their will. But the truth is, reality is a reflection of your inner state. What you are within, you will see without. If you feel lack, the world will confirm your lack. If you feel abundance, the world will mirror abundance back to you. This is not wishful thinking, it is the law of creation. Consider the way a seed grows into a tree. The seed does not strain or struggle to become what it already is in potential. It simply follows the natural flow of life. It does not ask, when will I grow? Or how will I become a tree? It trusts the process. It rests in the soil, nourished by what is already provided, and unfolds in its own time. In the same way, you must trust the process of your own becoming. Your desires are like seeds planted within you. They do not need force, they need faith. Faith is not about hoping that something might happen. Faith is about knowing that it already is. When you embody faith, you stop questioning whether your desires will manifest. You stop doubting your worthiness to receive them. Instead, you live from a place of quiet confidence, knowing that everything you need is already yours. This confidence is not arrogance, it is the natural state of one who understands the laws of life. Letting go of trying does not mean letting go of action. Action is a natural expression of being, but it must arise from alignment rather than effort. When you act from a place of alignment, your actions are inspired, effortless, and effective. They carry the energy of fulfillment rather than lack. You are not chasing something outside of yourself, you are simply expressing what already exists within you. Notice the difference between the one who acts out of desperation and the one who acts out of faith. Desperation says, I must do this to get what I want. Faith says, I will do this because it feels right, and I trust that all is unfolding as it should. The energy behind your actions matters more than the actions themselves. The world responds not to what you do, but to the state of being from which you do it. Every moment is an opportunity to realign with the truth of your being. When you find yourself striving, stop and take a breath. Return to the feeling of already having it. Close your eyes and imagine the reality you desire. Feel it as though it is happening now. Let the joy, the peace, and the gratitude fill your heart. This is not pretending, this is aligning. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. Until one day you realize you no longer need to try, you are simply living in the state of having. Patience is a natural byproduct of trust. When you trust that your desires are already yours, you no longer feel the need to rush or force the process. You understand that everything has its time and place. Just as the sun rises and sets without your interference, your desires will manifest in their own perfect timing. Impatience arises from fear that it will not happen or that you are not worthy. But when you let go of fear and rest in trust, impatience dissolves. The outer world is but a shadow of the inner. You cannot change the shadow by reaching for it, you must change the object casting it. If you wish to see love, abundance, or peace in your life, you must first cultivate these states within yourself. The world cannot give you what you are not willing to embody. This is the ultimate truth. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. Even as you listen, the words are not creating something new within you, they are simply awakening what has always been there. You have always been whole, complete, and connected to the infinite. Your desires are not foreign to you, they are expressions of who you are. When you understand this, the need to try disappears. You realize that there is nothing to get, for you already have it all. Trust the stillness. Trust the knowing. Trust that the universe is conspiring in your favor. Release the need to make it happen, and instead allow it to happen. You are not separate from the power that creates worlds, you are one with it. Rest in that truth, and let the unfolding of your desires be as natural as the blooming of a flower. You will find, as you let go, that you already are, and have always been, everything you could ever need. The journey of creation is not about moving from a place of lack to a place of abundance. It is about awakening to the abundance that has always been present. To seek is to imply that something is missing, but to realize is to know that nothing is ever absent. The very act of trying creates a distance between you and what you desire, a distance that only exists in the mind. When you stop trying, you dissolve that illusion of separation and step into the fullness of being. Feel the power of the present moment. It is in this moment, not in some distant future, that all things are created. The eternal now is where your desires take root and where they bloom. The mind often rushes ahead, searching for evidence, craving signs, but the heart knows better. The heart understands that all creation is birthed in stillness, in the quiet conviction that what you seek is already yours. Let your heart guide you back to this truth, again and again, until it becomes your dwelling place. To live in this awareness is to live in harmony with the divine order. The universe does not respond to struggle or desperation, it responds to faith and alignment. Think of a magnet, it does not strain to attract, it simply is. Its very nature draws to it what aligns with its field. In the same way, your state of being naturally attracts experiences that match its vibration. There is no effort in this process, only a quiet certainty that what is meant for you cannot be lost. The mind, conditioned by the world, often believes in the necessity of hard work, sacrifice, and striving. It whispers that nothing worthwhile comes easily, that you must prove yourself worthy through effort. But the soul knows a different truth. The soul knows that your worth is not something to be earned, it is inherent. You are already enough, already complete, already worthy of all the good that life has to offer. When you release the need to try, you honor this truth. You step into the flow of grace, where all things come to you effortlessly. This does not mean you will not act, but your actions will be inspired rather than forced. They will arise from a place of joy and alignment, not from fear or obligation. When you act from this state, even the smallest steps carry immense power. The energy of alignment amplifies your efforts, allowing them to ripple outward in ways you cannot predict or control. Trust in this process. Trust that your inspired actions, no matter how simple, are enough. The key is to remain steadfast in your inner state, even when the outer world has yet to catch up. The delay is not a sign of failure, but a natural part of the unfolding. Just as seasons change in their own time, so too do your desires manifest when the conditions are right. Impatience only disrupts the process, creating resistance where there should be ease. Instead, cultivate patience as an act of faith. Know that the unseen work is already underway, even if you cannot yet perceive it. Doubt may arise, as it often does, but doubt is not your enemy. It is simply a signal that your focus has shifted from faith to fear. When doubt appears, do not fight it. Acknowledge it, then gently guide your attention back to the truth. Remind yourself that what you desire is already a reality within you, waiting to be expressed. Feel the joy of having it, the gratitude of its presence, and let these feelings anchor you in the state of fulfillment. Gratitude is a powerful force in this process. It shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have, aligning you with the energy of abundance. When you live in gratitude, you create a fertile ground for your desires to take root. You no longer seek validation or reassurance from the outside world, for you carry the certainty of your wholeness within. This inner state of gratitude is a magnet for blessings, drawing to you experiences that reflect its vibration. It is not your role to question the means by which your desires will manifest. The how is the domain of the infinite, far beyond the limited scope of the human mind. Your role is simply to remain in the state of being that aligns with your desires. When you do this, the universe orchestrates events in ways that defy logic and expectation. Doors open, opportunities arise, and pathways appear where there were none. This is the miracle of creation, and it is available to you at every moment. The greatest gift you can give yourself is the freedom to let go. Let go of the need to control, to force, to make things happen. In letting go, you create space for the divine to work through you. You become a vessel for infinite possibilities, no longer bound by the limitations of the mind. This is not surrender in the sense of giving up. It is surrender in the sense of trusting the greater wisdom that guides all things. Even as you hear these words, the truth of them resonates within you. There is a part of you that already knows, that has always known, that you are one with the source of all creation. This part of you does not need convincing or proof, it simply is. When you connect with this knowing, you access a power that transcends effort, struggle, and limitation. You step into the realm of infinite potential, where all things are possible. This is the essence of creation: to be still, to feel, to know. When you stop trying to get it, you realize that you have always had it. The seeking ends, and in its place is the profound realization that you are, and have always been, complete. Rest in this truth, and let it guide you in all things. In doing so, you will find that life itself becomes an effortless unfolding, a dance of joy and abundance that reflects the fullness of who you are. Every breath you take in this moment is infused with the infinite creative power of the universe. You are not apart from it, you are it. There is no separation between the Creator and the creation, just as there is no separation between the ocean and its waves. The wave may appear distinct, yet it is nothing without the ocean that gives it life. So too is your every desire an extension of the divine expressing itself through you. To resist this truth is to resist your own nature. To embrace it is to step into the fullness of who you are. Your desires are not random. They are divine impulses, whispers from the infinite urging you toward greater self-expression and expansion. Yet these whispers are gentle, they do not shout, nor do they demand. They invite. They invite you to align, to become, to realize. When you try to force the manifestation of these desires, you drown out their subtle voice. But when you relax, when you release, you allow these divine impulses to unfold in their perfect time and way. Imagine holding a bird in your hands. If you clutch it too tightly, you may harm it, or it may struggle to escape. But if you hold it lightly, it remains with you, free and unburdened. So it is with your desires. They are meant to be held lightly, with trust and reverence, not with desperation or fear. This lightness of being is not a sign of indifference, but of profound faith. It says, I trust that what is mine will come to me, and I release the need to control its arrival. Control is the illusion that keeps so many trapped in cycles of frustration and longing. The more you try to control the outcome, the more elusive it becomes. This is because control stems from fear, and fear is a state of resistance. But the energy of creation flows only in openness, in surrender. To let go of control is not to abandon your desires, but to release the resistance that blocks their manifestation. It is to say, I trust the wisdom of the universe more than the fears of my mind. Think of a seed planted in the earth. You do not need to dig it up each day to check its progress, nor do you need to force it to grow. You trust the process. You water it, give it sunlight, and let it be. In time it sprouts, grows, and bears fruit. Your desires are much the same. They are seeds planted in the fertile soil of your consciousness. Your job is to nurture them with faith, love, and gratitude, and then to let them grow in their own time. The act of trying often comes from a place of unworthiness, a belief that you must do more or be more to deserve what you seek. But you are already worthy. Your worthiness is not conditional. It is not something to be earned or proven. It is your birthright, inherent and unchanging. When you stop trying to earn what is already yours, you free yourself from the chains of unworthiness. You step into a state of grace, where all things flow to you effortlessly, because you have aligned with the truth of who you are. Effortlessness does not mean passivity. It means inspired action, action that flows naturally from a place of alignment. When you are aligned, your actions carry the energy of certainty and joy, not of struggle or desperation. This is the difference between working hard and working with ease. The former depletes you, the latter empowers you. When you act from alignment, even the smallest gesture carries the weight of the infinite. It is not the quantity of your actions, but the quality of your energy that shapes your reality. The outer world is a mirror, reflecting back to you the state of your inner world. If you see lack and struggle in your life, it is because those states are present within you. But the mirror is not fixed, it changes as you change. When you shift your inner state to one of peace, abundance, and gratitude, the outer world has no choice but to reflect this shift. This is not magic, it is the law. The world must mirror back to you the vibration you hold within. To stop trying is to live as though your desires are already fulfilled. It is to feel the joy, the gratitude, the peace of having what you want, even before it appears in form. This is not a trick or a game, it is the essence of creation. The outer world cannot give you what you are unwilling to feel within. But when you embody the feeling of your desire fulfilled, the outer world must conform to this inner reality. It cannot do otherwise. The mind may rebel against this truth. It may tell you that you must see evidence before you can believe, that you must achieve before you can feel. But this is the great reversal. Believing comes first, seeing follows. Feeling comes first, achieving follows. The outer world is but a shadow of the inner, and to chase the shadow is to lose sight of the light that creates it. Turn inward to the source of all light, and you will find that the shadow naturally falls into place. There is a simplicity in this process that the mind often resists. It wants complexity, strategies, and steps. It wants to analyze, calculate, and predict. But the heart knows that creation is simple. It is as simple as breathing, as natural as the rising and setting of the sun. The more you trust this simplicity, the more you allow life to unfold in its perfect rhythm. Complexity is a product of fear, simplicity is the language of love. You do not need to know the how of your desires. The infinite intelligence of the universe has already taken care of that. Your role is not to micromanage the process, but to align with the end result. Feel it, believe it, live as though it is already yours. This is your power, your divine gift. To misuse it by dwelling in doubt or fear is to deny yourself the joy and abundance that are your birthright. Even as you let go of the need to try, you will find that the things you once chased begin to chase you. Opportunities, relationships, and experiences will flow into your life with a grace that defies explanation. This is not because you have stopped desiring, but because you have stopped resisting. You have stepped into the flow of life, where all things are possible and all things are given in their perfect time. Feel the truth of these words. They are not new, they are ancient and eternal, echoing through the depths of your being. You already know them, for they are written in the fabric of your soul. They are not something to be learned, but something to be remembered. As you remember, you awaken. And as you awaken, you create not through effort, but through the effortless knowing that you already are all that you seek. In conclusion, the journey of manifesting your desires and achieving the life you've dreamed of often requires a deep understanding of trust and surrender. It's easy to fall into the trap of constant striving, constantly chasing after what you think you want. However, true success and fulfillment come when you stop trying to force things into existence and instead trust that the universe has a plan for you. By relinquishing the need to control every outcome, you create space for your desires to naturally unfold in their perfect timing. Too often we find ourselves trapped in a cycle of anxiety, fear, and impatience. We think that if we work harder, push further, or try to control the situation more, the thing we want will finally come to us. But this mindset only creates resistance. When we stop trying, stop forcing, and trust the process, we allow the energy of the universe to flow freely through us. We align ourselves with the natural rhythm of life, and in that alignment, we become magnets for the very things we desire. When you let go of the need to force, you free yourself from the weight of stress and struggle. You start to notice that everything falls into place with ease. Your relationships, your career, and your personal growth all flourish when you allow them to. It is when you surrender to the natural flow that you begin to see that the universe is always conspiring in your favor. It's not about doing more, it's about being more at peace, more in trust, more aligned with your true self. This doesn't mean sitting back and doing nothing. It means letting go of the fear that keeps you trapped in effortful striving. It means taking inspired action when it feels right, but never out of desperation. You must trust that the universe will bring you what you need at the right moment in the right way. The more you let go, the more you allow your desires to come to you effortlessly. Furthermore, when you stop trying to control every aspect of your life, you start to see things from a higher perspective. You stop worrying about the small details and start focusing on the bigger picture. Life begins to feel less like a struggle and more like a divine journey, one that's unfolding in perfect timing. Your only job is to remain open, stay grounded in trust, and believe that everything is working out exactly as it should. Remember, the universe has a way of orchestrating your desires in a manner far more beautiful and profound than you could ever imagine. The truth is that you can never force anything into existence. But when you align with the flow of life, when you let go of the resistance, and when you trust the timing of the universe, everything you want will come to you, often in ways you least expect, but always in the most miraculous way. So stop trying to get it. Let go of the need to force it into your life. Know that what's meant for you is already on its way. Trust the process, surrender to the flow, and watch as the universe delivers the life you've always dreamed of effortlessly, abundantly, and in divine timing.